Let's go ahead and get started, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Eric Sauer. I'm the CEO of the California Trucking Association, and I want to welcome all of you to this great webinar um, that's being shown by Cloudastructure, and it's called "Safe Cameras, Smarter Security: How AI is Changing the Math on Cargo Protection." So we hope you find it very worthwhile. I'm going to introduce you to the team from Cloudastructure. Let's start with Mr. James McCormick. He's the CEO of Cloudastructure, and he brings over 30 years of experience in finance, operations, technology leadership across high growth companies. He's got an MBA from the University of Michigan. Go Wolverines.
Go
James'
blue.
previous roles include most recently serving as president and COO of Google founder Sergey Brin's LTA Research. He was also CFO at Global Equipment Services, where he oversaw a 50 million acquisition by Kimball Electronics. He's a consummate management executive who in 2025 was named Maverick of the Year at the American Business Awards for leading the effort to take Cloudastructure public. Thanks, James, for joining us.
Thank
Next, we
you.
have Ed Burnett, global security leader, specializing in enterprise risk management, physical security, asset protection, and complex corporate investigations. As Vice President of U.S. Security and Global Fraud Investigations for CTA member United Parcel Services, Ed directed security operations safeguarding over 376,000 employees, 1,800 facilities, and a fleet of 145,000 ground vehicles, while ensuring the secure transport of 17 million packages daily. He's a veteran of the U.S. Army. He holds a Master of Science in Criminal Justice and completed executive leadership training through the FBI's Domestic Security Executive Exchange Program, Wharton and Emory University. As a former commissioner with the Orange County Sheriff's Department, Ed seamlessly bridges public law enforcement partnerships with private sector companies' strategy to secure critical infrastructure and mitigate complex global threats. And finally, Mr. Rick Bentley. He is the founder of Cloudastructure, an engineer by education. He was arguably the first pioneer cloud-based surveillance architecture, all the way back in 2003, more than a decade before the industry caught up. He was serving as an advisor to Google in 2016 when the company open sourced TensorFlow, and Rick quit immediately to add AI to his vision for Cloudastructure's cloud-native architecture. Before founding Cloudastructure, Rick built and sold his previous technology, Televoke, to Uber for 50 million. Thank you all for joining us, guys.
Wonderful.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, so for those of you on the call that are in this meeting that aren't familiar with Cloudastructure, we are a AI-based video surveillance company that utilizes humans in the loop or remote guards to identify potential problems or threatening activities. If you look at the right-hand side of this slide, these are some of the statistics that we are incredibly proud of as a company. When we identify something that could be, let's call it a threatening activity, we have a documented 98% deterrence rate, close to 100%, which is just phenomenal. So far with our offerings, we have a 99% client retention rate, 100% customer satisfaction score, and a 66% net promoter score. Ed?
Yeah, I think that there is a lot that we're talking about on this next slide, where we're going into a few of the trucking and logistics verticals that Cloudastructure really has an opportunity to impact in a positive way. So when I was looking at joining a company, there were a lot of areas that I have identified or dealt with in my previous life, right, where we needed proactive solutions. And Cloudastructure fit those needs. And when I really dug into them, some of these that we were talking about here really hit home. So perimeter and yard control, obviously we have the AI-based model targets this and addresses proactive solutions with the human in the model process. Talking about unauthorized access and tailgating. The AI model, we have the ability to put the demographics lines in the area and identify real time when we're having tailgating and have the ability to do a talk down, or notify through a call tree the appropriate identified folks that the customer wants us to notify on any tailgating. We also have the ability to capture the license plate, the truck numbers, the DOT, and provide real-time information for follow-up very quickly. Truck and pedestrian employee safety, we have the ability through the AI model to identify unsafe behaviors, help reduce liability, and help identify concerns that you're not seeing from a human view, from a guard perspective. Seal control and subrogation, one area that we really are focusing in on is being able to confirm that the seal is on vehicle trailers so that we can assist with the subrogation process for you if you're using the rail and your trailers are being hit on the rail. So big liability there that we have a proactive response for you to. Employee entrance and compliance, really looking at your employee entrances, being able to log in and see what the guards are doing in reference to what they are trained to do and provide that compliance footprint in a training model for you as well. Pilferage and package integration, we're able to come in internally, tap into, like if you have Genetech systems, and be able to look at pinch points and help proactively monitor certain areas for you as well. Cargo theft and investigations, obviously a big area of concern right now with the amount of increase that we're seeing across the board. Our AI capabilities, our human in the loop, our app approach, our proactive notification, it's all proactive and it eliminates the response-driven reactive camera type base model that a lot of companies have today. Law enforcement relationships, we have relationships across the country and we're able to help bridge gaps for you, help introduce in high theft, high investigation areas to be able to help speed the investigation process up for you individually as a company as well.
All right. So I think what I'll do is I'll show everyone's probably wondering, understand who we are and kind of what we do. I think I'll just give a little demo here. You probably have cameras involved in your facilities. And the more cameras you add, you've probably found that the less you can see. Hey, I've got 20 locations. I got 60 cameras each. I have absolutely no idea what's going on. And Cloudastructure tries to take a reactive model of looking at the video the next day and turning into a proactive model to help you figure out what's happening in real time. So for example, for fixed facilities, we may point out there's someone outside the fence line at 1 a.m, long fence line. No one's supposed to be along the fence. That alert goes to a guard station. Guards look at it and say, oh yeah, it looks like they're trying to cut the fence or climb it or whatever. And they do a talk down and say, hey, you in the blue hoodie and the COVID mask, a secure area. Police and guards are responding, you must leave immediately. And they're gone. And that's our 98% deterrence rate in a nutshell. So what are some of the fun things we do for trucking? So this is a dashboard that shows you things like, hey, I got all these cameras. How many are up or how many are down? Well, here's the 2 are down. This is across all your locations, right? How many, we call them CVRs, cloud video recorders, instead of NVRs, network video recorders, because they push everything to the cloud. How many of those are up and down? What's the CPU level? Is anything backlog? Is the broadband ailing, etc.? So it's a high level overview as to what's happening at your location. Once we're into the recordings, and this is colloquially called Riggy's, a new account of ours. Full name is Riggy's Truck Parking. That's it. And we colloquially know them as Riggy's. And you can see there's lots of things going on at all their lots. This is 1 hour for each one of these windows. The higher the box, the more motion there was in the box. And a lot of the motion is pretty boring, but let's just look for DOT numbers, for example. Here's DOT numbers, and we can go ahead and we can take a look and see this truck here. Comes through, and we got its DOT number. That's now actually in the system, in the database, and we can search for this DOT number across not just this location, but all of our locations. So I'm going to just pop this in real quick. There we go. Confirm. And let's see if this truck has been around before. Yeah, it was by another camera at the same time. Oh, here's probably where it came in. Her time of day, obviously. But that's the same truck. So why is this useful? Well, I don't know how many of you have spent how much time scrubbing through a video to try to find the guy that ran out without paying the bill, where his load got stolen. When did he come in? Who says his truck got damaged when he was with you? Whatever, right? You can spend a lot of time reviewing video. You got 100 cameras. Maybe you can watch at 10x fast forward if you're really good, right? Without getting bored. That's effectively 10 cameras to go through. You got 8 hours a day to watch 24 hours of footage. Just seeing what happened in the last 24 hours could take someone a man month easily, right? And we can just pull up and find what you're looking for. It could be backpack, it could be gun, it could be whatever. So that's kind of the short overview as to what it is that we do and why some people care about it. It's the AI. Everyone talks about AI all the time. Artificial intelligence. Human intelligence still matters too. AI is not good at a lot of things, and as someone who invents it, I'll be the first one to tell you that. The problem with a lot of AI only systems is they'll be happy to tell you the pool is now closed. This is a restricted area while someone's dog is drowning in the pool, right? You can get very inappropriate responses out of AI. What you want is when AI detects something suspicious to get humans involved as quickly as possible. They can make the much better judgment calls. And that's what we do. We do it very cost effectively. So on-site guards, I think we all know, are pretty expensive. You pay a guy a lot of money to often sleep in his truck. And we can watch the watchers, but more to the point, we can get these alerts driven in real time to the guard center. It's all web-based. It's all seamless. And they get those alerts and they jump in and they can take corrective action immediately. Like I said, you've got too many cameras. You can't watch them all. We watch the cameras. We do that by having AI doing 99.99% of the work, and the humans come in when they're required. And the big difference between us and the video surveillance system you bought at Costco is that we got the humans in the loop doing the talk downs, actually preventing the crimes instead of just playing them back for you 2 days later when you figure out that something bad happened. All right, back to you, Ed.
So why now? I think a lot of everyone that's on this call is concerned with cargo theft. If you look at what's really happening today, and these stats are from CargoNet, $274,000 is average cargo theft per incident. For 2025, it was reported that 725 million is the total impact. 35 billion impact to the total supply chain network in 2025. I think we know it's probably higher than that. 1,500% increase in organized strategic theft since 2022. And every day, we're losing 18 million. Now, keep in mind, that's what's been reported. Everyone on this call knows that these stats are much higher than what we're recording right now because, you have a lot of companies that don't report their theft frequencies or their theft dollars. I would probably be comfortable in saying this is probably double across the board of what we're seeing today. So the platform that we have, the solution proactive response that we have is exactly what is impacting this why now. So when you talk about being able to identify fraudulent pickups, deceptive behaviors, we have the platform that can be trained specifically for your solution base that you're looking for and customized directly for that. But the impact is tremendous. How do we prevent this type of behavior from occurring? We know that California is the #1 state as far as the sheer frequency of incidents that are occurring. We know what loads are coming is being targeted the most right now with household goods, food and beverage, and electronics. Our platform of being able to GPS track our application is one of the things that separates us from others and being able to make that real-time notification to you. So I think there was a question in the chat about, I didn't see it completely, but maybe the notification of a DOT number or a flag a DOT number. Those type of items can be trained in our system as well. The proactive notification of a list of DOT numbers, and can we catch that if we're catching them coming on the property? That would be a solution that would be able to be built.
We can do more than that too. It could be DOT, it could be license plate, it could be the guy's face, right? We have face recognition capability. And really what we're doing here, just so everyone kind of understands the big picture, we're pushing the video to the cloud where we have access to really big compute. And that really big compute goes through all the video. It watches all of it, second to second, even fractions of a second. And it identifies everything, every backpack, gun, bicycle, whatever. But we also read the license plates. We read the DOT numbers. We recognize the faces. And you got a guy you just fired, you want to know if he comes back. We'll let you know when he comes back.
Yeah, I think the other thing, too, to tag on that a little bit with what Rick is talking about, currently, when you have an incident, you're responding to an incident, you're going through a tremendous amount of time to try to look at your video, or if you have a provider, you have to request that provider to provide you specific incident timeframes, video that go with those timeframes. The thing with us is it's your data. We have it, we store it, but you go in and you can search it real time yourself. You don't have to rely on putting a trip ticket in and waiting for us to come back to you with that data. We have that ability to where you have the sign on as many folks as you want, different levels of authorization. And you can go in real time and start looking as well. Now we can assist you however you would need, but you don't have to wait for us to do your investigation. Also with that, we provide detailed incident reports. With the incident reports to help you with your investigation comes photos, videos, links, whatever you may need, which in my experience has been a tremendous help in timely conducting the investigation protocol.
Yeah, Ed, I appreciate you talking about the stats. You referenced California, and I mean, it's by a wide margin on unreported cargo theft crimes. And I think, these are tools to help our members combat this level of sophistication on cargo theft. It's not like your dad's old trucking industry where, guy walks up to a truck driver with a gun, hey, I'm taking your load. It's like the level of sophistication has increased tremendously over the last couple of years. And companies like this are providing opportunities and tools to implement within your company to help you combat cargo theft.
Yeah, absolutely, Eric. And one of the things that we talked about briefly was just the sheer amount of increase in the deceptive and fraudulent pickup. So how do you authenticate that driver that's coming on your property is the driver that should be there? We won't get into a lot of details on our platform on this call. However, we have a platform that can assist in that solution that individual customers want to engage us with to have in-depth discussions about that solution, and we'd be more than happy to entertain that.
Yeah, I will say, as the company that does a lot of AI work, we're always looking to hear from the customer what it is they're actually looking for, because we don't drive trucks. I think it'd be cool. I'd really like to. If someone can help me work that out, that would be the best day of my life. But we don't run truck lots either, right? We're software nerds and business people. So when we find a customer who says, hey, the real problem I'm having is this, I just don't know when this happens, or I can't figure out when that happens, or if I get an alert when these two things happen together, whatever it is, man, that's music to our ears. We love to get challenges like that from industry that we can fix.
Absolutely. I know there were some questions in the chat that were dropped in. Kathleen, if you want to pull those up and ask those, we'd be happy to answer them.
Yeah, I see containers and chassis numbers here as one. It's interesting. We did LPR and DOT first for a reason, and that is they're pretty well formatted. You know how many different state, Mexico, Canada, whatever NAFTA license plates there are, and you can recognize for that. They're not going to be 20 digits long, for example. Same thing with DOT number, right? It's a pretty well structured data field. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. What it appears to me is when it comes to like container numbers, well, how many different types of container numbers are? It's probably the number of companies that ever spray painted a number on a container times the number of people that ever worked there, right? And I think that's how many different ways there are to number containers. If there's a more structured format, I really want to hear about it. But yes, we can do that. We can ingest everything off of a 40-foot container on the back of a truck. There's going to be a lot of cruft in there, which is fine. If it says, Zhang's shipping 1, 2, 3 on the back, and no one ever looks for that, it doesn't matter, right? But someone says, hey, I'm really looking for this number, we can ingest it all. It doesn't have to be structured data. Just structured data makes the whole thing work better. Let's put it that way.
There's a couple of other questions on the chat. So you have one, can a system also send alerts and flag DOT numbers and trucks that are essentially banned from your site for any reason?
Yes, I think we talked about that one just earlier. We can do it off a DOT number, license plate, even the person's face.
Yep. There was one, Rick, I'm going to turn this one to you. How does a new feature get built? How much footage does that take, and how long does it take?
That's a great question. We're doing machine learning based AI, right? And let me just, for those who weren't nerding out on this 10 years ago, computer vision like this used to be what we call artisanal, an artist basically did it, right? If you wanted to detect a truck, well, you've got to explain to a computer what a truck looks like, or any vehicle. You say, well, it's got these round things on the bottom called tires. They're kind of round and shiny on top. Well, some aren't round, some are kind of boxy. And some aren't shiny, some are matte. But the lights in the front are sometimes white, in the back they're sometimes red, on the sides they're sometimes yellow. There's usually one or two doors on a side. Well, sometimes there's more, right? And you start going through how you're going to explain to a computer what to look for to detect a vehicle. And with machine learning, you say, hey, look, hey, computer, Mr. Computer Friend, here's 10,000 pictures of trucks and 50,000 pictures that aren't trucks, but they're mailboxes, skateboards, scooters, whatever. And pretty quickly, it does a better job of figuring out what a truck looks like than you could ever explain it. And it happened overnight. Google open source TensorFlow. It was really the first machine learning platform out there that was available to the unwashed masses. And we grabbed it and we started training stuff. And instantly, the people who are selling expensive solutions to know when a truck was there or two trucks went through the gate for one gate opening, whatever, all their stuff was immediately deprecated, was just close to worthless. They were selling these algorithms for big money the day before, the day after. People just trained up for their own stuff. So what we love about customers is that they've got cameras, typically, they've got data. And we can do a really nice demo off of 100 Rs and 1,000 aren't, right? But when we can get to 10,000 R and 100,000 aren't, it is bulletproof. And you think, oh boy, I could never annotate that much video. That's fine. We got a whole team in India for that. So if you've got the video and you got something you want to detect that no one's detected before, we're your new best friend, because we're the eager beavers to do something that no one else has done in the AI space before.
Yep.
Hey guys, I've got a two-part question,
Mm-hmm.
and it's probably one of the more important ones for the trucking industry since they operate on razor-thin margins. So, how does the cost compare to current security guard spend? And also, what does a system like this cost, and what kind of bandwidth would their yard or terminal need?
So
Yeah.
I'll take part of it, and Rick can take part on the bandwidth. So we are agnostic to your existing equipment. So there's no rip and replace for us. Now, obviously, if you have a camera from 1990, then we may have to have a discussion about putting a newer camera in for that one. But we use your existing infrastructure, and so the cost is much less there, right? There is none. We basically put our brain on top of it. There's a small fee for that, and then the monitoring. So the amount of spend is much less than traditional that you're thinking of. Now, when it comes to physical guards, we can have an immediate 40 to 60 impact on your spend. I experienced that firsthand as well. So tremendous impact on your physical guard spend. Your return on investment, in the security world, it's extremely hard for us to do a return on investment when we're trying to do a budget for equipment, right? But the proactive return on investment that we offer compared to a reactive is tremendous in your ability to prevent a theft and use that data to come back and help justify an ROI.
Right. And maybe a slightly different way to say it, Ed, the statistic on the left-hand side of the slide that's up right now, which is average cargo theft value per incident, call it $275,000. You stop one of those, right? And the ROI is north of 200%, 300%. Right, in the first year alone, including the cost of putting our brain on top and those sorts of things. So very, very compelling.
Yeah,
we price it versus regular systems that are just reactive, where you watch the video the next day, right? So we think we're very cost competitive. Rough numbers, think something around $1 per day per camera, right? It's not going to break the bank.
And then there was a question, Rick, about bandwidth as well.
Oh yeah,
right.
That is the one thing with the cloud and with video. Video is big, and the cloud is not at your location, which is nice. It means you don't have to maintain a big fiber channel array of hard drives to store all your video. We do that for you, but we do have to get the data there. So we do look for fast broadband. Starlink can handle a dozen-ish cameras, right? But fiber is really the best of the best if you can get it. If not, there's often local wireless ISPs we can put up a tower and point a dish at. and go point to point. But we'll help you find a solution for your location. We got a team for that. But yeah, if you got fiber, just stop there. We'll take the fiber. And the nice part about it is we're just uploading video all the time, right? We don't need the download channel. So if you've got an overnight trucking lot where you got 62 guys watching Netflix at the same time, they're doing all the download, and we're just using the upload that's otherwise unused. So we don't really interfere with the existing broadband usage. I saw another question here real quick on, are we using AI to enhance footage and images? We can do that. It's usually not a good idea. The reason is you're kind of altering the physical record a little bit. You know, there's this whole chain of custody for the evidence and everything else, for those of you who run these things down to ground into the court system and everything else. And I think we've seen the gaffes where someone, meaning well, grabbed the image of the guy getting on the bus or something and cleaned it up. AI is just filling in the blanks. You can't make more pixels in a pixelated image. You can guess what might be in there, and that might be a goatee, and that might be a shadow, and who knows, but the AI can decide it's a goatee and make you a very nice picture of a guy with a goatee when it was really a shadow. So we can, in limited situations, it's very appropriate to do so. Some things like lighting and contrast and things like that, you can tune up a little bit without making people uncomfortable in a chain of custody kind of standpoint. But having the AI get creative is something we actively avoid.
Now, there was a question in here about demos. Absolutely, we have some demos that we can show you. I'd be more than happy to connect with you after the call, and we would be more than happy to show you some demos on that. One of the questions I think I saw come through was loads recovered. So we're proactive. We want to prevent the loads from going anywhere off your lot. But I will tell you that one of the solutions that we're working on, and we can discuss this individually, is being able to leverage law enforcement and technology and mapping technology on a high value load that, for example, is a GPS unit on it, and being able to react to that real time with law enforcement to be able to get that recovery as quickly as possible. So a subject that we can talk about offline as well.
Yeah, and I will say, in full disclosure, we are a bit new to trucking and logistics. Ed's the guy who has all the background in it. We've been doing a lot of apartment buildings, multifamily. If you own or operate hundreds of apartment buildings, you're our customer. Because again, you got 60 cameras each one, you got 100 apartment buildings, you're blind, you can't see a thing. And our deterrence rates there have been phenomenal. We have some very humorous clips online that you all can see if you go to cloudastructure.com. And if you click around a bit, you'll find kind of our highlights reel. And it is really fun to watch the speaker come on, the guard yell, and then people drop whatever it was they were stealing and run away. And we got a whole lot of those. And this coming year, we're going to have a whole lot of trucking incidents too. And those are going to be fun to watch also.
Yeah, so let me, I think there was a question about the storage.
Yeah.
Well, I think Lauren has answered that. So 30 days storage is standard, up to 1 year playlist, but obviously we can customize that to your compliance needs as well. Rick mentioned this a minute ago that our primary vertical was the multifamily. When I got close to Cloudastructure and started understanding their platform and the solutions that they had to offer, I immediately started having flashbacks to my transportation security career and what could have happened if we had these solutions, and where could we have gone, and what could we have done on prevention, and that's why I highly encouraged the company to start getting into transportation and logistics, because I recognize the impact that we can have for you. That's kind of the logistics and transportation side of this.
I will say we found every vertical we go into, we find some interesting surprises. And for example, we are not a fire department. We're not a fire detection company. But one time, the guards in an apartment building in the middle of the night saw a car on fire. First it was smoke, and then it was fire, because there was motion off of that, and they went and took a look. I don't know how many people have gotten burned up if they didn't get on the horn and get everyone out of there. But we didn't build a solution to detect fire and save people from apartment building fires, right? It just kind of came along with it. And having eyes on your prize is something that I think you'll find something you didn't expect, right? I had no idea that guy had been stealing for us for 17 years or whatever it is. There's just always some kind of surprise that we can't really put in a marketing document because it's different every time.
So one of the question was, to whom are the alerts being sent? two-part question there. So the alerts are being sent to the customer's call tree and the decisions that the customer want us to follow. So some are different from one customer to the next, but it's customer driven. If it's typically, right, if it's a major event, then we're going to notify the police at the customer's request. But in my experience, the call tree is critical. And then the decision from the customer is critical, because once you make that 911 call, then your brand's exposed. So we want to make sure that we try to protect that the best that we can. The monitoring, that's in-house, that's us. We have human in the loop monitoring real time.
Yeah, and we do that, and we do that really cost effectively. However, some people may want to run their own group for that. And that is easy peasy lemon squeezy for us, because we don't have this big software stack, and you have to have the hard drives at your GSOC and all that sort of thing. It's web-based. So if your guards can log into cloudastructure.net, and once we create their username and password, they can, your guards can watch the sites, particular times of days, however you want to do it, right? We can take the night shift, you can take the day shift, other way around, you name it, right? It's very easy to point that data anywhere because it's cloud-based. Other competing solutions, man, you got to have all the hard drives, the monitors, the software all running in the same room. And that room often needs to be on site with the cameras. And that starts to make things really, really complicated.
Yeah, and there was also a follow-on to the question about who's the alert being sent to, and it's does our current customer base currently have their own guard services? So I think what we see, particularly from a multifamily standpoint, is a number of these properties do have physical guards that we find aren't really all that effective. And in quite a number of instances, our system works so well that they can replace all or a part of their physical guards. And, we've got ROI metrics that, in the second year, it's over 130% ROI, right? The cost of a physical guard versus using our system. So just a little bit more clarification.
Yeah, a couple of things. Sorry, Rick, a couple of things on here too with that physical guard. So our ability with our guards, remote guards, a lot of competitors have an automatic or a recorded talk down. We don't do that. Ours is live. We want to be able to say, hey, you in the red hat with the blue jacket, you're in a restricted area, you need to leave, or we're going to call the police, right? Something that is very specific to the bad actor that is being recorded and monitored. So that's a big upside for us. We see tremendous success with that, and that drives into that 98% deterrence rate. You had a question on here about will everybody in my organization be able to see the lots? We can set that up. Are there charges for additional seats? There's unlimited seats for you. You can set the authorization by however you want for access level.
We do single sign-ons, and we use your corporate email if you want. So real quick, I pulled up the monitoring page here. This is off a demo account. This is not being actively monitored right now. Imagine you got 12 people in a room, or 2 or whatever, going through all of your alerts across all your locations, right? Again, they could be all in the same room. They could all be working from home for that matter, right? Because they're all logging into this screen. Now, I would hope we would never have a queue list of this many unopened events, right? Again, no humans are actually on this account watching this stuff. But this queue fills up, and as people open these alerts, it clears out, right? And so what it shows you is the original alert that triggered it and what the current live view at that site is. And you can see we're playing this back at 2x speed here, right? Just seeing what's going on. And this is the next camera into the building, right? Same guy's going there. He's not there now, right? If he was, we could click this mic and we could start broadcasting right down off of the microphone on my computer that I'm talking to you on now, and say, you in the gray jacket and baseball cap, put the bag down, right? or whatever it is. No, I'm talking to you. Come back here, please. It really is a voice in the cloud type of intervention that gets people's attention, because it's a real human. It's not, this is a secure area monitored by ADT. This is a secure area monitored by ADT, right? It's not that sort of thing that people just reflexively ignore. Someone's being talked to directly. And when the step left or right and the person and interrupts and says, hey, no, come back here, right? All in real time, it's just a very different interaction than something fully automated. And so you can run this again with your team, and or we're used to running it for you. All right, I think we've got one more here, the testimonial. Should we play it?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, back to playing this video.
If I was to sum up why you should partner with Cloudastructure in one sentence, I would say it's because they have a very entrepreneurial mindset and they're willing to grow with you in your business and kind of tailor around your needs and how you operate on a day-to-day basis. It's not, this is our product, this is how we work, and we can't deviate from this. They'll sit down with you, they'll spend time with you, they say, hey, how do you operate? What are your hours of operation? We operate a truck lot. It's open 24/7, 365. So don't think twice, don't waste your time talking to other groups. Everyone's gonna say they have AI. They functionally don't. They're gonna say that they have a monitoring team. They also likely don't. I would also say from the design perspective, if there's a new property that you're bringing online or a new development, getting on with Cloudastructure from the very beginning has been extremely beneficial for me. They're working side by side with our electrical engineers and our designers and developers. We're collaborating very closely on different conduit runs and fiber and which cameras should be placed where. They're very thoughtful on ingress and egress around the entrance and exit gates. Truly, from the moment you get a new property or a location that you want to bring online with them, from the design to the installation to the monitoring, it is a full-on white glove service, and I'm sorry that I didn't find them sooner, quite frankly.
Yeah, and I think we're finding more and more the concept of a takeover. Dave Olson, in the testimonial that he just provided, was using a competitor of ours, frankly. And we came in, were able to work with the existing investment in infrastructure, upgraded things a little bit, added additional cameras, and we're off and running. So
if the cameras talk on a network, we can talk to the cameras. So we're good.
All right, everybody. Before we end the webinar, are there any final questions, like some information you need before we terminate the webinar?
Next steps.
And compatible to Exact Vision.
Yeah, there's a lot of other companies in the world that if the camera's on the network, they can talk to it too, right? I think they're kind of in a couple camps right now. There's the on-site NVR, the network video recorder. And by the way, a lot of us on this call probably almost remember the VCR, the video cassette recorder, and that used to be where the stuff went. Then it became the DVR, the digital video recorder. Instead of a tape, it was a hard drive. Then it became the NVR, the network video recorder. It has an RJ45 jack on it. You plug into the network to talk to the network cameras. We have what we call the CVR, the cloud video recorder. It was not storing, it doesn't have a bunch of big hard drives in it. It's not a huge beige PC. It's pushing all that video to the cloud. We do everything on the big compute in the cloud. That's why we're able to do so much, right? So of the ones that still exist, there's the NVRs, right? You can go to Costco, buy one, it's cheap, works great. You got a tool shed somewhere, you want to set up some cameras, that's a great way to do it. It can be hard to get to remotely. It's not going to be doing a lot of AI. It's hard to get humans in the loop to help you watch it. For the remainder of what's out there, there's, other than the not cloud, the NVR, there's cloud. And that's typically done two ways. With custom cameras, Nest, Ring, Verkada, right? You buy their camera, and that camera only talks to their cloud, right? This is the ultimate vendor lock-in. Sometimes it makes me a little jealous that they've got this kind of feature to their business model, but it makes me kind of sad for their customers, right? You're buying their gear, you're stuck with it. You don't like the way it works and you want to use those cameras on a different system. You can't, right? It's just vendor lock-in. It only talks to their cloud. And then there's solutions like us, and there's not many like us at all, especially since we're going vertical to vertical to find the real value that we can add to each one, right? And we're here to do trucking. And that is when you have a system that works with any camera and pushes to the cloud. And that's the rare duck. And that's what we do. We think is a better way to do it. We think it's more fair to the customer. We think it allows you to leverage stuff you paid for 1, 2, 3, 5 years ago, and keep getting value out of it. And we think it's just the best overall solution too.
And in the comments, someone had asked the question. It said, "Next steps?" ? We have a direct sales force. We're very eager to talk to everyone, right, that's interested in learning more about our solutions, our applications, and how we can help you. So yes, please do reach out to us. Click.
Hey, one more came in there on front-facing dash cams. I'll just add one real quick. It depends how we can get the data off of them, right? Some of them are vendor lock-in, like we talked about before. They only talk to their own cloud. But if we can get that video either over cellular while the person's driving around, or Wi-Fi when they get back to a home lot somewhere, we can get that video to the cloud. We'd love to work with front-facing dash cams. That would be a hoot for us. We haven't done it yet at any scale. But if someone has a solution with a lot of vehicles and that's a problem they want to solve, we'd like to help you solve it.
I think we're at the end here, Eric.
Yeah, we caught up on all the questions. Yeah, Rick, Ed, James, thank you so much. Thank you for supporting the CTA, and everyone for attending. Thank you for attending this very informative webinar.
Yep. Thanks.
Thank you very much.